saying good evening because this video is being recorded in the evening. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate all final year students who are graduating. I mean, it has not been easy. I know how difficult it is, especially with your final project. From chapter 1 to chapter 5, the analysis, the abstracts, okay, the what do you call it, the referencing and everything. So I think it has been quite a tough ride. But of late, people have been asking me, how do I calculate my GPA? Most often at times, people rely on systems that display their results, like student portals, to know their GPA. But then, during this pandemic, and of course, due to one or two reasons, it has become difficult for students to be able to see their GPA because of non-availability of such systems. So I decided to do this very short video to explain how you can calculate your GPA. Of course, I'm going to follow the standard of University of Education, Winneba. So for those who will be coming in level 100, those who are already in level 200, level 300, moving to level 400, and those who are graduating will be able to calculate their GPA based on the results that they had. I'm going to use a simple Excel application to explain, and then after that I'm going to give you a real life example of how you can calculate your GPA, and then we'll probably establish the difference between a GPA and then the CGPA, which is the cumulative grade point average. Alright, so now let's start. Let's start by opening an Excel file. Okay, so WPS Office. Of course, if you're using Microsoft Office, you can use the Microsoft Office Windows, the Microsoft Office Word, or Microsoft Office Excel. Now let's start with nope, not yet. Let's start with a new Excel file. Okay, so new here, and then we are looking for a new blank spreadsheet. Okay, let me expand this. Wonderful. All right, so the entire discussion is going to happen here. After that, I'll show you the real world example. Okay, so now you will see something like this. You see the code, that is the course code, and then you see the course title. You see what we call the credits. You see your grade, and then after that you have what you call the grade value. Right, let me enlarge this. Wonderful. Now let me insert a column here up the top there. Let me expand this one. Let me merge. Okay, so let's call this let's refer to this as semester 1. Okay, so this is your semester 1. You know, we have level 100 semester 1, level 100 semester 2, and how you yeah, I posted something on my WhatsApp status, and then Mr. Tamaklu has responded. The response is funny, that's why I'm laughing, and that's fine. Okay, and then we have level 200 semester 1, but then by the time you get to level 200 semester 1, you'll be in your 3rd semester. Okay, so we are not going to call it level 200 semester 1. For the sake of simplicity, we'll just call it semester 3. Now, this is what you will see. All right. Now, it is important to note that every grade has a corresponding grade value. Okay, so we have the grade, and then we have the grade value. All right, so let me put that one here. Now, if you have an A, right, it corresponds to 12. Okay, a B plus, right, corresponds to, it is being reduced by 1.5. So a B plus will correspond to 10.5. Okay, now we have a B. Okay, so obviously B is going to no, it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a B. B will now correspond to 9. Okay, so we move to C plus. All right, our C plus will correspond to 7.50. So let's put 7.5 here. Now C will obviously correspond to 6, right? Then D will correspond to D plus, yes, shifts. D plus will be 4.5, okay? Now D will also be 3.0, okay? Right, so it will be 3.0, yeah. And then we don't have an E. We don't have nothing like an E. We don't have anything like an E plus or something. It's just an E. So the E will be 1.5. Okay. Wonderful. So we'll be dealing with this. All right. Now, assuming in the semester, okay, you did 8 courses for the semester. So we have a course AAB, right? That is your first semester. Course AAC, course AAB, course AAE, course AAF. Because we want to finish this early, let's make it just 5. Okay, so let's call this guy right here course A. Let's call the second one course B. Let's call the third one course C. The next one will be course D, and then the next one will be course E, right? So let's call it like that. Let me enlarge this so that it becomes clear. Now, in the university setting, every course has a corresponding credit hours. Okay, so every course is going to have a credit hours. So for example, some courses they will give you 6, some courses 3. In other universities, for example, you can do a course that has only 2 credit hours. Some have more than 2, others 3. But here at the University of Education, whenever all courses are 3 credit hours, with the exception of internship, which is level 400 first semester. I think that one is 6. Even project work is 3 credit hours. So we have 3 credit hours for course A, 3 credit hours for course B, course C, same thing, right? Now this is where it gets interesting. Assuming that for course A, you get, let's say, let me expand this so that you can see it clearly. Assuming that for course A, okay, which is corresponds to course code AAB, you have A in that course, right? Now the corresponding grade value for A is how much? That's 12, right? Now let's say the second course, which is course B, you get a B, right? The corresponding grade value for that course will be 9. Okay, so you have another A, and then you get a B plus here, right? Now if that happens, then it means you get a grade value of 12 for course D, course C, another grade value of 12 for course D, and then B plus will give you 10.5, right? Okay, now this is where it gets interesting. The total credit hours you have here for semester 1, it's an addition of all the credits for the courses. So here we have 5 courses, and for each of the course, the credit hours allocated for that course is 3. So when you take all the 5 courses, you have a total of 15 credit hours. Okay, now for each of the grade, you have a corresponding grade value. Now just like you added the credit hours for the courses, you have to add the grade value for the courses as well, right? So in this instance, I'm going to use a formula. It's equal to sum to calculate. So I'll just sum, it's up to, this guy right here. Okay, and now let's hit enter. So we have 55.5. Okay, so now your total credit hours for that semester is 15, and then your total grade value for that semester is 55.5. If you want to determine your GPA for that semester, this is what you do. You need to divide the total grade value by the total credit hours for the semester. Okay, now even before we come to that, let me do something here. We have what you call the classes, right? Now if you have and then let me rather type here score, and then let me type here classes. Now for your score, if you have between 3.5, right, up to 4.0, now your class is first class. Now if you get between 3.0, right, and then 3. Let's make it 49, or let's say 3.5, 3.49, right, then you fall under second class upper. Now if you fall between, okay, so we are coming down 2.5 up to, let's say that will be 2.99, right, before you hit. That one is second class lower. Now if you fall between 2.0 and 2.49, right, then you belong to third class. Okay, but because of time, let's just make it 1.5 to 1.99. okay, let's say those who fall under that category are pass, those who passed. Now if you want to determine your GPA, okay, that is the grade point average, what you need to do is that you need to divide, like I said earlier on, you need to divide your grade value, okay, the total grade value by the total credit for the semester. So let's put that value here. You can use calculators to type, but I want to use formulas. So you bring your equal sign. We are dividing this guy right here by this guy right here, right? And then you hit enter. 3.7. So that is your GPA. Okay. Now 3.7 falls under which category? It falls between 3.5 and 4.0. Because of that, we say the person is under first class. Makes sense? All right. Now let's assume that you've gone through all the 8 semesters, or let's just do it for level 100. So let me do this. Let me expand this guy right here. Yeah, let me do merge and center, Command C, and then I'll paste this guy here, Command V. Now this is no longer semester 1, this is semester 2 for level 400. Okay, and let me repeat this here. So the same thing, the course code, the course title, everything. Right, so let me copy this guy and then let me paste. Okay, now let's assume this is for semester 2. Okay, now for semester 2 you did course ABB, course ABC. So let's just replace the A with the B so that it represents different courses for the semester. Alright, so B. Makes sense. Now let's do course AB, course BB, course CB, course DB, and then course EB. Wonderful. I'll just expand it. Work. All right. Now the same credit hours. So let's make a little changes. Let's give this guy here C. Let's give him a D shifts plus. You get an A here, and then here we'll give you a B. All right. So if the person had a C, okay, C, the grade value for C is 6. So here will not be 12, here will be 6, right? Now another 6 right here for the C. D plus is 4.5. An A is 12, we'll leave it like that, and then a B is 9. Wonderful. So the same procedure we use to calculate the GPA, okay, for semester 1. You add the total number of credit hours. Now that will give you a total of 15, right? Like the first one. So it depends on the courses you did in the semester. If there are 6, 7 courses, just add the credit hours, give you the total credit hours. And let's do the same thing here. It's equal to sum. Let's open this guy right up here. Now you can quickly highlight. Wonderful. Now let's close the brackets and then voila, enter. We had 37.5. Now if you want to get the GPA for semester 2, right? So GPA for semester 2, what you need to do is you divide the total number of the grade value by the total number of credit hours, right? So it's equal to, we want to divide this guy right here by this guy right here. Now let's go, enter. We have a 2.5. Now 2.5 falls between the 2.5 and then 2.99. So this nigga here, okay, or the person here for semester 2 had second class lower, right? So this is how you calculate your GPA. Now to be able to determine your class at the end of all the 8 semesters, this is how we go about it. And of course that is going to give you the cumulative GPA. So when you calculate multiple GPAs and you want to arrive at a definitive conclusion as to where you stand, whether you had a first class or second class upper, and if it is more than one, then we say you are calculating your cumulative grade point average. Now if you do it individually for the semesters, you are calculating your GPA. So the first semester, because you don't have any subsequent semester, for the first semester your GPA is equal to your cumulative GPA. Now when you move to the subsequent semesters and then you add your GPA to be able to balance the class that you actually have and arrive at a definitive class, then you say you are calculating your cumulative GPA. So how do you go about it? Now if you want to calculate your cumulative GPA for these 2 semesters, you can either find the average of these 2 GPAs that you have, which of course will give you the cumulative GPA. So this is what I mean. If you want a lazy way out, just calculate the GPAs for each of the semesters, right? So we have 2 semesters, combine them, divide by 2. But that is the lazy way to go about it. Or you can decide to add all the credit hours for all the semesters. So here we have 5 courses for the semester 1. We have another 5 courses. If you decide to calculate the total credit hours, we have a total of 10 courses, and for each of the 10 courses, we have 3 credit hours. So 10 multiplied by 3 will give you a total of what? 30. So that is the total credit hours you have. Now the same applies to your grade value. You have to add the grade value you had for all of the semesters together. As it stands now, we have how many semesters? Just 2, right? So we do is equal to, we are adding this guy right here, shift plus this guy right here, which gives us a total of 93, right? So if you want to calculate your CGPA, which is going to be the determinant of your class, your CGPA, this is what you need to do, right? So you divide your total grade value for all the 8 semesters, okay, in this case we have 2, by your total credit hours, and then you hit enter, which gives you a cumulative GPA of 3.1. Now 3.1 falls within the category of 3.0 and 3.49, so the person falls under second class upper. Essentially, this is how you calculate your cumulative GPA. So if you have 8 semesters, so you are done with school and then you want to know where you stand, whether you are a first class student, second class upper, second class lower, all you need to do is look at the courses you did, combine the credit hours, the grades you have, they all have their corresponding grade value. Look at them, okay, and then add them. After that, you divide the grade value, the total grade value, by the total credit hours you had. Now, let me give you a tip as to how you can maintain consistency in your GPAs. You see that at the end of the day, you'll be finding an average, okay? You'll be finding an average. Now, if you are able to maintain a specific class throughout the semester, odds are at the end of your 4-year stay or your 8 semesters, you'll be at a specific place. Because if you are getting 2.5 for second class lower, and then you are getting a first class, you have to balance it out, and then that gives you a second class upper. But if you make a determination that, okay, it's either I get a second class upper or a first class, then for every single semester, you must make sure your GPA falls above a second class upper, right? So if you don't want to do any calculations, of course, I hated these calculations. Not like I didn't know how to do them. I knew how to go about it, but then I didn't want to be balancing anything so that I'll be worried, hey, am I getting first class? Am I getting second class upper? No, I didn't want any of that. So to prevent all that wahala, what I decided to do was every semester, at least, I must be able to get a second class upper. And of course, if you're able to do that and then you balance it out, the odds are you're going to get quite a favorable class. So that will be all. This is a very short video that I decided to do to help those who wanted to know how to calculate their CGPA. Thank you very much.